Hey, what's going on? Why Bother Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I want to talk about something that affects me pretty well. Maybe it affects you guys too. I buy a lot of single cards. I don't really have the best of luck pulling things from boxes sometimes, especially from Japanese. I've noticed Japanese, especially if you get something like a case, they're very much like they're seeded a whole specific way. You can end up pulling three to four of the exact same card in the exact same case, and it appears to just go that way. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but 9 times out of 10, more than likely you're going to be pulling a bunch of like full arts or something like that of the exact same Pokemon, which is fine. You get those, you end up trading them, you end up selling them or something like that, so you can buy singles to actually fill your collection or whatever, right? So I buy a lot of single cards, whether it's eBay or Instagram or TCG Player or anywhere like that, mostly in Japanese. It's actually changed a lot for buying Japanese. Normally, you just have to be like, well, I'm gonna have to find someone in Japan to actually buy these from. It's gonna have to fucking take forever for it to get here. You're gonna have to pay some weird stuff, and it's gonna be a real crapshoot. No, now there's a bunch of people here in the States, at least where I live, and there's people that sell Japanese cards, plenty here in the States, and you can pick them up relatively cheap for the time being. Obviously some exceptions, some of the fucking chase cards and all that stuff, but you can pick up cards, and people are selling cards quite frequently. One thing I've noticed actually picking up singles lately is there's just this really weird trend going on right now. It's always been a thing, but I've really abundantly noticed it lately. I've noticed it happening a lot more, especially with me trying to buy singles and trying to get the best deal I can, right? Okay, so let me paint a picture for you. You're on eBay, right? You see a specific card you want. You see like a great card you want to add to your collection. It goes right in that binder slot. It's the perfect card just for you. You see it, you check the price. It's a little bit above market price. Like it's like maybe like 10%, 15% above it or something like that. Maybe the price dropped recently and their actual eBay page didn't follow it. Maybe they just think the card's worth that much. Maybe that's what they want to sell for, whatever. That's their prerogative. They can do whatever they want with that, right? They have offers open, okay? You can just click to make an offer, right? Okay, you go on there. Obviously, when you're making an offer, you don't want to be like stupidly dumb low, okay? We're not trying to be like card vendors here buying people's whole fucking collections for 50% of what it's worth, okay? Like, oh, I'm a business, I gotta make my cash too. Yeah, it's still pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie. Like 50%, 45%, 55%, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's a whole conversation for a whole nother day about how crappy that can be with some people. Not all the vendors are like that, but there are definitely some that go as low as they fucking can. Obviously, if you're making an offer, you don't lowball it to the point where it's absolutely ridiculous. However, if they have offers open and you want to offer like 10% below what they're asking, 15% below what they're asking, hell, if it is a fuck ton of money and you're going to actually buy the card right this second, like it's a very expensive card, hell, 20% if you're going to get that right now, especially if it's been sitting for a little bit, and especially, in my opinion, if it's a little bit above market price in the first place. Not too low, not something ridiculous, and eBay generally gives you like a, hey, the seller probably won't respond if you give something below this stupid. Don't put anything below that, okay? So don't be an actual asshole here. Maybe you should shoot up for like right. So they give you kind of a rough estimate about what that should be. So you make your offer, you do that stuff. They reject the first one, whatever, for like 20% or anything like that, or 15%. Let's say 15. I'm usually like a 10 to 15% person. That's where I go. I don't typically go much lower. I do respect people wanting to actually, it's their card. They should at least make some money off of the card they're getting because maybe it's going towards collection. Maybe it's going towards whatever, man. You never know. Okay, cool. You offer like another thing. Maybe it's like, closer to 10% this time or 8%, something like that. Rejected. 6% rejected. Oh, and then basically you're at the point where like the offer is like you're at like maybe like $4, $5 under what they're selling. Like say it's like a $50 card. So you're offering like 47 bucks, right? Just something like that. Rejected. Why the hell do you have offers on, and why are you actively responding to offers and entertaining them if all you're going to do is reject reasonable offers like that to actually move the card? Like, what's the point? It's your card. You can list the card for whatever you want. I'm not telling you that you can't, but what's the point of having a fucking offer up if like a reasonable offer pretty damn close to what you're selling the card for, you just reject it? If you have a set price that you want to list the card for, just list the card for that price. No one's going to be mad. No one's going to be like, oh, okay, this is what's going to be. Either people are going to agree with the price that you have up, or they're not, and the card's going to be, and you're just going to have to like rechange the listing, rechange how much you're going for. Maybe you got to check the market value for that shit and be like, okay, yeah, I'm selling it for way too much, or oh, the price is way wrong and all this stuff, right? I get it. Like, it's your card. If you have a set fucking price you want it to be, sell the card for that price. What's the point of that? What's the apps? It's just a waste of time. for everybody involved. It's a waste of time for you having to just get offers from people that are like, oh, well, then maybe this person's like willing to get, they're a little bit flexible with their price a little bit. That's how I take people being like offers. So like on Instagram, if people are like, oh, they have a bunch of stuff for sale, especially if I claim like a bunch of cards from somebody or something like that, like if it's like a little bit under and they say offers open, like, yeah, 10% for like, you know, I'm buying 10 or 15 cards from you. Yeah, that fucking makes sense to me. You're the one that made the fucking thing saying, yeah, there's offers open. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to completely lowball you, but at the same time, you're saying, oh, reasonable offers accepted. And people that just like do that shit on Instagram, it's a little bit easier because like you're just direct messaging them. You can do that on eBay too, but like eBay, it's a little bit slower. On Instagram, people are actively like involved on their claim sales a little bit more, so you can get in contact with them a little bit. It's just funny like how that works when it's like, dude, don't even put like, you know, reasonable offers. What's your reasonable offer? What's the lowest you're willing to go with that shit? And a lot of times people are like, well, I just put that there. I didn't know if anybody was going to, I just said that I was, well, yeah, you put it there. So people are going to actually offer you offers. It's an absolute waste of time. It's a waste of time for me because now it's like, oh, well, this person's doing it. And usually, like I said, too, the listing that they have is above the market value or above things that they've sold anyway. Like it's usually like $5-10. So especially for Japanese cards, if you get them from Japan, they're a little bit cheaper. Usually you got to pay like shipping, and then what you're paying for at that point is time, especially if you don't get like expedited shipping. That's going to be like usually like $20-30 on top of that. So you are paying for it. You're just paying with the most important currency in life, time. You got to wait. If you get something from the States, it's generally a little bit more expensive. Like they add a little bit to it. Generally for convenience for people here in the States, you pay a little bit for shipping. And like I said, if they have offers open, fuck it, I'm going to offer something. I'm going to offer like 10%. And I don't think that's absolutely ridiculous to be like 10% under a card, 15% under a card, especially if it's like a more expensive card, especially for like the most recent set, you know, Supercharged Breaker, like the Pikachu, the fucking Hydreigon. Some of these cards are like $60, $70, $180, and you have the offers open. You have that. Like, what's the point? Why even bother? If people are like, oh, well, maybe people don't know how to use eBay or set up. Maybe people don't know how to turn that off, or they forgot to turn it off. Well, that's not my fault. That's not me, the person that is looking at that. That's not anything like that. And they don't message or nothing. They don't turn off the offers when they're getting offers. They just literally keep entertaining the fucking offers until it's like, I'll give you $1 off this $60 card purchase. Once again, it's your right as someone selling a card. If you have a fucking price that you want to move it for, move the card for that fucking price. But if you have offers open and you have stuff like that open and people are giving you what is, in my opinion, reasonable offers, it just looks weird. It looks goofy when you don't want to accept like said offers where it's like $3 off. It's $5 off. It's like $10 off of like $120 card, okay? Are you really losing like that? Especially on Instagram shit, where usually you're doing like PayPal fucking transfers to people, and it's like friends and family most of the time is the only way they accept. They don't want to accept it any other way. No, I do this shit friends and family. It's like, so you're really not losing any money, and like all that shit's just going straight to you. It's so goofy, and it's so much like I think like people just actually think they're like they're vendors. They actually think that they're like businesses selling this stuff, and most of the time they're actually not. They just have like a fucking page where they list up a couple of cards or something like that. You're a whole business, a whole other thing, that's fine, but I still think like that whole shit where you're buying collections for 50 to 60%, and then like you yourself don't want to fucking give bulk deals or something like that, because that happens a lot too. People will undercut other people as well. Like they'll offer the absolute lowest amount they possibly can, and then people do it back then like, oh, absolutely not. Like you're paying this amount. You're paying full price, 105% actually in those. It's not everybody. There's actually a lot of good vendors and a lot of good deals out there from like businesses. Like they exist. But there's also on the flip side, and everyone knows this, there's motherfuckers that literally will not move. Just, if you have the offers open, I'm going to fucking make an offer. If you say reasonable offers welcome, I'm going to offer a reasonable offer. And then people getting like real fuckers, what, for a $50 card, you're asking for $44? What the fuck's wrong with you? Why would I accept that? All the fees, like, why do you have offers up then? You're wasting my time. You're wasting yours. Get the fuck out of here with that, and then learn how to fucking put up auctions yourself. You want to actually put up like listings and stuff on eBay, I think the first thing you should know how to do is how to actually put up a fucking listing for something that you want to put up and know what you're doing with it. You got a price, just have the balls to ask for it. Have the fucking decency to just be like, yeah, I want this much for the card. I'm not budging on it, okay? There you go. That's it. Just fucking don't accept offers. Don't do that shit. Don't even entertain that offers are on the table, all right? Cool. Stop wasting people's time. That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin Gang. See you later. Happy Friday. Happy, especially right now with singles and all the shit people buy, especially with everything going on right now. Nothing fucking pisses me off more than like a reasonable offer just sitting there and someone be like, nah, no thanks. It's why bother? Why even do that? Just ugh, fucking people, man.